Good morning, beautiful people, and all the sunshines that are shining. This is BreiEndia, my 90-day self-journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. I am coming here lively and well this morning to mention that I am doing this day full of self-control. There are many things that I can say, would like to share about things that I see in the world and places I've gone in the workplace and school systems and even online. And that's not even really the reality of our being. But it's starting to get very powerful as far as its influence, especially on younger children. And I'm definitely recognizing that it's necessary, as I always say, for me to understand this world that I live in, how it evolves and how it is evolving, in order for me to be comfortable and confident with who I allow in my life and whether or not I am going to bear my own children. I don't have that choice because the creator of all things has already forewarned me that there are going to be opportunities for me to bear my own children. However, I've always tried to order my steps with the high-minded guidance so that I'm able to continue to know that I'm moving in the right ways as these transformations are happening around us, around me. So when it comes to today being Friday, July the 3rd, 2020, and in this self-journey, self-control is so important to me because I want to make sure that I'm able to control my emotions, control my thoughts, and it goes by the things that we do. As an educator, I look at myself more than just a teacher of, little children, but I teach myself, as well as I'm always willing to listen to other teachers. Not necessarily to believe everything that I hear, but to understand how to structure and format my own teaching formats. And when it comes to educating the babies and the children, it's very important for me to be able to set aside my actions and set them apart. I am a human, so ultimately there are ways about me that are split. Because I am myself, I'm a woman, I'm an adult. And there are things that I do in my personal time, in my private time, and in the adult environments and adult hours. There are also things that I do in the hours of being around my students, around children, around younger people who have growing minds about this world. And there's so much poison. There's so much poison in this world. There's a lot of things that are confusing, and I always try to put myself in their shoes to be able to understand that there are things that they see that they don't understand. There are things that they hear that they don't understand. When it comes to vibration and frequencies, I look at that as a real thing in this planet and in our world, because the energies that are around you, you got to admit, you can feel when something may be going wrong or something is confusing. I mean, most of us can anyway. And something that is wrong or not right or is going in the wrong way, or you're going in the wrong way. Sometimes you got to pay attention to those intuitions and to just, work on the discerning portion of yourself to be able to really see and feel how to maneuver. And I've just been, practicing the learning of how to not maneuver in fear. I just don't prefer to do that. I can't speak on the behalf of anybody else but myself. But ultimately, I don't prefer to maneuver in fear because there's too many other things to be focused on getting done, as far as what I feel as though God calls you to do. Sometimes God will call you to do things. He calls you to your calling. And he doesn't stop calling you to your calling. But a lot of times we ignore those signs. We ignore the synchronicities. We ignore things like that because I know I had some some stagnating and hindering perceptions and mind forms that kept me from moving forward in what I want to do, because I was so worried about what people will think or what people say, or all these old paradigms and old ways of thinking and all these traditions that are honestly shifting out and expanding out, and some are fading away and others are evolving and growing, and some have already grown and changed. So it's a matter of seeing the changes, accepting the changes, and being willing to be a part of the change, or understanding that if you don't decide to evolve with the world, you may be kind of like, I don't want to say stuck, because it's okay to stay where you are and not be a person who likes change. That's okay to be who you are. But you really can't be who you are and be trying to keep up with what the world thinks of you at the same time. So I just chose to ignore certain things that I feel as though are hindering me from my progress. The world can evolve. I can send my love from Baltimore across nations if I want, just because I try to embody good energy. And when I meet different people from all different places, different backgrounds, I like to express that it's okay that they're different. It's okay that you see something that you like, that you wish you had, but you don't have it. And I encourage people to strive for the things that they desire. I don't encourage ignorance and trying to steal from people, or dealing with people for harm and selfishness and bitterness, envy, unnecessary stuff like that, when that's just lowering your own energy. That's lowering you yourself. And if you can't change that, I love you. I sympathize with people like that, because I understand that it's hard to take the journey of trying to cleanse and truly change certain perceptions of your mind, and to truly decide, okay, I love these songs, I love this music, but I have to learn to not allow it to influence me. And sometimes I understand that I can't listen to it because the vibrations of it may lower my mood. It may cause me to look at myself a certain way or whatever, because music is a very strong force of energy. And that's why I'm very careful when it comes to making the decision to listen to certain songs or sing certain songs or act certain things out. And even when it comes to my own writing, it's really important to me to pay attention to the messages that I'm feeding the world, because the children are always watching. I always say this, but I always think about the fact that the children are always watching, and they're the ones who the planet belongs to. As they evolve, it's important that we understand that we were once in their shoes, and where we are right now was determined by our birthrights and how we moved around in our destinies, from that point until now. And that's for every age bracket or whatever you want to look at it. I just look at it as time is on our side, but we cannot be its opposition. We cannot go against the grain sometimes when the universe is trying to change things, or when things are shifting. I've learned to let go sometimes and just allow things to happen that are out of my control, because I'm not in control of every single thing. But I can always prepare myself mentally and gain stability with what's going on, what's happening, because you can feel those shifts within yourself due to the fact that it's going to happen. But once you gain control, which is why I said this is a day of self-control, it's a matter of knowing what you'll keep and what you won't. So celibacy, I just don't want to have sex. I don't want to share my energy right now with other bodies, other people's energy. I feel as though this is a great time for people to start cleansing their cells too, cleansing their energy from soul ties and old baggage, old emotions, old things that still may linger over their heart, over their mental, over their body, over their perceptions. A lot of that stuff I just wanted to just go away. And that doesn't mean the people attached to those things have to go away. It just means that the attachments that were toxic, or the attachments that hovered over me in a very meaningless and space wasting type of way, I just wanted to release them and allow them to bury themselves somewhere out of the way, or deep in the sea, so that I no longer have to concern myself with allowing that to hover over me and then carrying it around and projecting it off onto other people. So that's one thing when it comes to celibacy. Alcohol, and everything I say, this is me. I don't care really what other people do. That's your life. But for me, I'm done with the alcohol. Yes, I picked up a little bit of a sip yesterday, but ultimately it just reminded me after those little drops on my tongue why I'm done with that stuff. I'm good on that. Don't like to drink. I love the fact that cannabis comes from the earth, but ultimately I have certain ways that I think about that, because I want to see my own seeds planted and grown in order for me to engage in that. I have my own reasons behind why I feel that way as well, but that's a part of the trust process. I've given trust before in the past, in the beginning, and allowed it to be shown to me why I have to allow myself to cut ties with certain things, certain people, because there's a lack in trust. And there's not a weakness in being safe and conscious about who you allow in your energy and who you trust while they're there. Because once you have a certain form of self-control, you're able to be around just about anybody and not allow their energy to project onto your energy. If you know where you are and what you do and what you are doing, you can have control over what you choose to do, no matter how much is peer pressure, influences, people mad because you're choosing not to do it. Who cares? This is your life. Do what you feel is best for you. And that's how I felt. That's how I feel. That's how I felt. And I've finally been able to really break into that to the point where I don't care about anybody else's opinions when it comes to taking care of myself. I come first in my life, and then I allow myself to pour into others as they're willing to receive what I'm trying to bring to any table, because I don't have intentions. I know my intentions are good. I don't want to bring any bad intentions or bad vibes to people. And what they want to bring is it's not my problem. I look at it as it's not going to touch me. That's going to go back to you. Everything that you put out is what you're going to receive, type of thing. That's how I view it. So how you carry yourself and how you choose to carry on is how you're planning the paradigm for your future. So that's just how that looks. That's how I view things right now in the present in 2020. And another thing I'm just getting rid of as well, other than the alcohol and the cannabis and the celibacy and the sex. I'm just also worried about making sure that I intake my intake. So I understand that there are certain foods that aren't natural, because I am on a natural journey. I'm not necessarily vegan or vegetarian, or I don't like all these words and fancy stuff right now. I'm doing a lot of my own research to see what makes me feel comfortable when it comes to what is going to be my diet, what I'm going to allow in my body, what I can control being addicted to or just letting go of. Sometimes I bounce back and eat some wings. I bounce back and eat some crabs or whatever it is that I'm saying I'm not going to eat. But I noticed that ultimately I have other things in place to make sure that I cleanse on a day-to-day basis. So when I break out of my main diet plan, it's just for treats and tricks, just for myself. But ultimately, to know that I'm willing to go a certain period of time only eating fruits, vegetables, and drinking water, and have done that for months at a time between last year and this year, it taught me that I can be in control of everything that I allow into my body and into my life. And today I am going to dive in a little more to see what other things I would like to have some control over in my life and what things I want to be able to know I can get rid of. So this is BreiEndia, my 90-day retreat, Self-Journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. And I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Friday and weekend. God bless.